Hi, Evan. Thank you for letting me know that you're here. Actually, you're simultaneously letting me know that I'm here because it's not always true. Sometimes I'm making a video and saying something possibly wise, possibly something I shouldn't have been saying, but I was saying something and nobody knows. I don't even know at this point because it wasn't on. Are you still quarantined? Are you still under curfew? Or were you ever? Our curfew ended last night, or last night was the last night of the curfew, however you want to phrase that. Is curfewed a word? I've been curfewed. Technically, it ended 5 o'clock this morning. Okay, that's all right, because technically, I was an inert lump on my bed at 5 o'clock this morning. I saw a meme about somebody's little kid seeing a picture of a rhino and saying, "Mommy, I want a war unicorn." And that's awesome. And like most memes, I doubt that it is true. In this case, I would kind of be disappointed to hear it was true. When I was 3 years old, I could tell you the difference between a hippopotamus and an elephant and a unicorn and a rhinoceros. And I would be disappointed to learn that little kids don't know that stuff anymore. But maybe I'm wrong. If you had said pachyderm, I wouldn't have known what you were talking about. Then again, if you'd said schnauzer, I wouldn't have known what you were talking about. But rhinoceros, I knew. Very recently, somebody shared a YouTube video of the opening sequence to a TV show called Doctari. It was about a veterinarian in Africa, I think, and maybe it wasn't a veterinarian. I'm remembering it being a veterinarian. Anyhow, I had completely forgotten about the existence of this TV show and everything associated, but I recognized every frame of that opening sequence, so I know that I sat and watched it a bunch of times because it had animals in it, and I like that. If I find out it was actually about big game hunters, I'm gonna be really disappointed. Probably was though. Boy, I've done something very wrong here. Very wrong. That's terrible. This should be lining up with that. So what do I do? Raise that all the way up to there. There's comments. Thank you, Ellen. Yeah, 7-year-old. I remember watching. Well, I had little plastic guys, little plastic animals, while I still lived in Vermont, which is very meaningful to you. But it's very meaningful to me because I left Vermont when I was 6 years old, and I certainly knew all the names of the animals then, and I think I knew them. I knew them a lot earlier, but I cared about that stuff from a very young age. I also knew the names of all my dinosaurs in my set of plastic dinosaurs too. But I think they were actually printed on their butt or something. Diplodocus. You gotta have a big butt to write Diplodocus across your butt. It's not easy. Mine just says dip and they ran out of room. Oh, my picture's gone. I wonder if I'm still here. Stellar, am I still here? Okay. Sometimes there is a little hard spot in the chalk. It's all fairly soft and laying down a nice clean line, and then there's a hard little pebble, little grain. I can actually feel it when I'm dragging the chalk up and down, and that's what's leaving that hard line. It's like I turned it up on its tip and dragged it down, but there's just actually a little grain stuck in there. So if you feel that, flip it over and use a different edge of the chalk. It won't do that. And yes, this is the difference between quality art supplies and not so quality art supplies. You get a lot less of that in your better art supplies. So, Rhinocorn. Okay, I'm still here. Um, that's good to know because I don't have my picture anymore. That happens a lot, and for a while I was using Chrome because it actually told me to when I tried to do a live video from Facebook. I mean, I was using Chrome all along, and one day I tried it from Chrome, and it said that doesn't work on this browser. Switch to using Safari. So that was on my Facebook Live, when I pressed the little Facebook Live button. So I was like, okay, and I switched to Safari, and it worked. And so every time I did a live video for a while, I made sure I'd switched back to Safari and did that. They give me a little pop-up going, "We're not your default browser yet. You want us to switch to your default browser?" And I said, no. Safari's a little weird. I don't actually prefer it. So anyhow, a couple days ago, I just tried it again on Chrome and it worked. But I am getting these things where partway through the video, the picture disappears. It just wouldn't be one of my shows if we didn't have a technological glitch in the middle of it. It just wouldn't be the same. There's this rhino at the zoo. I'm drawing this from one of my photographs. And a couple issues with the photograph. It's not a very good photograph because I took it. There's actually a tree branch right in front of the rhino's head. But also, this rhino's second horn, the lesser horn, just looks like a big lopsided rock sitting on her face. It's just a big weird shape. Doesn't have that nice horn shape. So I'm not drawing that. I'm just drawing it the way I think it's supposed to look. They're a very curious animal. That is to say, their physiology is very curious. They don't seem to exhibit with a lot of curiosity. They just kind of stand there. They look like those animatronic things at Disneyland, which makes them great to draw live. I've done that at the zoo. Stood there, and I even did a little acrylic painting of one time. I was able to do that. Little kids are standing there looking at the rhino for a while, and when their mom catches up with them, they turn and look at her and go, "I don't think that's real." I'm not entirely sure it was, but I think it was. We're going to get to go back to the zoo this coming Sunday. Rather looking forward to that. That's something that I've missed. And get to go back. So a lot of limitations on things. Anything that's inside a building, you can't go in. And they say they've set up something to help enforce the social distancing. I'll find out what that means when we get there. One thing, there won't be that many people. It's going to be a members only visit that time. So that means we're going in for free, which means we want to spend money somehow, so they make some money off us that day. Not quite sure how we're going to do that. We haven't eaten out since all this stuff started. We haven't even bought takeout food since all this stuff started. We also haven't gotten sick. There may be a connection. There's a sunny patch of grass back behind her. while she's standing actually with her head in the shade, which I don't know that I've depicted very well, but she's standing in the grass anyway, and it's very sunny back here behind her, which is nice because it lights up these dark spaces, helps me kind of carve out the shape of her body, and also help me just completely erase some of those stray lines that I made when I was screwing up and doing it wrong. So that's pretty cool. Earlier today, I posted something on one of my groups, fantasy sci-fi group. I said something about how my art, I'm trying to capture the feel of the mid-century illustrators and who were and the stories of the old pulps, the old sword and sorcery pulp stories like Conan and others. And somebody had to immediately get on my case and say, that stuff's all racist because people who wrote 100 years ago were racist. I'm on quarantine and we were on curfew, and I haven't done anything but sit in this little tiny room for months. And I've already had people jumping on me about nudity, and so I've stopped doing that. There's only so far you can back up. Your back's completely against the wall, and somebody's still pushing on you. I mean, there is no place to go. I mean, this is my last little place where I can go, and yeah, it's been 38 minutes. Oh, there's other comments. So Safari for PC. Yeah. Isn't it Safari? No, it's not Safari. It's Firefox. Firefox was what they wanted me to do. But I think there is a Safari. I don't know. Aren't those pills made out of rhinoceros horns? Isn't that the whole idea? Have a lot of company, maybe. We still haven't gotten our retest test results. Our first test results was we lost your test. So our retest results haven't come yet. Yeah, I'm kind of happy that the zoo, that for now all the little kiddie stuff isn't going to be running. The little splash pads and the carnival rides and the uh, little playhouses and everything, those are all closed. And as far as I'm concerned, they can close them forever. Um, I don't hate kids, but everything in the world doesn't have to be primarily about children. Okay, you can take kids someplace and teach them this is a place to behave yourself, and and appreciate what this is about. Um, you know, I loved going to the zoo when I was a kid, and there were no, yeah, there was none of that stuff, playgrounds and shit. Um, anyhow, time to push back. Do I I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't like being an asshole, but apparently I'm an asshole just by posting my art on the internet. I'm being a total asshole. Um, I've been a sexist. I've been a racist. I've been uh, God knows what, just by posting my art online. So yeah, I don't know. I my first instinct is more flight than fight. Actually, I just feel like whenever any of that shit happens, my first instinct actually is to go delete my entire account and never talk to anybody again. That's my first thought, and I have to just kind of go sit on the floor and bite my thumb for a while before I, you know, get up and go, okay, there's got to be a better solution than that. But that's kind of my first uh, instinct. So whatever, I'll get over it. Um, I think today was Monday, so I'll probably be back tomorrow and do another one. So good to see you all, and bye bye.